Oh.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Abbey of the Lemur. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. Well, me and the missus are just kind of getting over kind of this nasty low-grade crud that's really kind of kept us feeling bad the last week or so. Anyway, so if you think maybe there's something wrong with your TV and maybe, I don't know, I'm doing my Harvey Firestein imitation, well, I'm really not. I'll venture to say, at least from here, there's nothing wrong with your TV, but welcome. Anyway, first thing I wanted to do for you is kind of part of our Fuck Art section, our Fuck Art series. And, just in my own inimitable way, kind of presenting little art projects that you, me, or pretty much any individual on the street can do. So tonight what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making snot sculptures, or snot mosaics really. And for canvas, you know, I mean, you don't have to use anything. You don't have to go out and buy some big heavy canvas and stretch it and all that nonsense. We're just going to be using ordinary household toilet paper. But you can see I've started on one mosaic already, and this is kind of a work in progress. But if you take a look, it's a snot portrait of Lionel Richie. Anyway, it's kind of a work in progress. It's not done yet. But I'm going to start on a new one today, and you can join me at home if you'd like. Help if you got the crud, but it's not entirely necessary, I suppose. But I'm going to be making a snot picture of the Virgin Mary. Now, the Virgin Mary, over the course of history, has been a very popular subject of art. And, we're pretty much using literally a medium that you can make yourself. And I'm going to be doing this. Now, a lot of people are going to be having some difficulty with this. When you do your portrait of the Virgin Mary, there are a lot of people who will object to it. I mean, it doesn't matter your level of devotion to the Virgin. It doesn't matter your level of technique. Some people just don't fool around with that subject matter. A lot of Catholics, not all of them, but a lot of them, pretty much regard the Virgin Mary as being right up there in the Godhead. And, excuse me. Try to get a nice loogie bass for this thing. I don't know if it's going to work. But a lot of people pretty much regard the Virgin Mary as right up there with the Godhead. And a lot of Catholics believe that she appears at different locations around the world and heals the faithful and all that jazz. And, so they take it very personally. No matter how you muck it up, this project actually would have been better back like several days ago when I was snotting up real bad and it was all crusty and nasty and all kinds of interesting colors. Now I'm getting a good bit better. My voice is still shot, but I'm a good bit better. And the trouble is, now my snot's just not that interesting. But I'm working on it, and it's nothing you have to rush. A lot of Catholics, regardless of what your level of devotion is, may take exception to this kind of work. And then you'll have, idiots like Rudolph Giuliani making all kinds of derogatory comments and standing up in this big moral show against you, despite the fact that they don't know what you're doing. And in fact, you get a lot of idiots like Hillary Clinton who will stand up and support what you're doing, even though they themselves don't know what you're doing. So it's just kind of a sticky wicket all the way around, but you got to love your craft. That's all I'm saying. So, okay, I got a basic outline going here. I want to see if I can get maybe like a little loogie halo going on the picture. A lot of Catholics might take that personally. There are a lot of our more turbo Protestant friends who believe that the Virgin Mary, that the Marian apparitions are actually satanic, which is kind of unfortunate, and hence some of our friends in the Christian community don't get along terribly well. But anyway, it's neither here nor there for me, because to be honest with you, I don't believe in any of that bullshit. But here we have a nice start. I may have to come back to this some other time. But, you got a nice little kind of body length here, maybe a nice little loogie halo here. it needs to dry, along with the Lionel Richie portrait. Anyway, it's a little something to start things off with, and like I say, patrons of art, may get kind of questionable about this, and they may give you all kinds of flack. But, if your devotion to your art, or your devotion to the Virgin Mary, such as it may be, when I was, back about 10 years ago, I did this little chapbook. Some of it dealt with growing up Catholic. And my mom, the publisher, thought it would be a neat idea to take this little chapbook of poetry and make the cover illustration kind of a parody of the nativity scene. My mom, upon seeing this book, said, "What would you say if the Virgin Mary saw this?" I said, "Well, I hope she has a good sense of humor." Well, a lot of people aren't comfortable. A lot of people might not be comfortable with such an assertion, but that's my alibi, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, the Virgin Mary, such as she is right now, working at it, may have to keep working at it, but you can see that it didn't take much more than, household items, man-made items, or, just items my body kind of generated in a fit of sickness. But anyone can do this. Anyone can kind of take this and take up the mantle of art and kind of do it for themselves. And that's the credo that I kind of live by, DIY. And that's kind of a good thing. But that's not all I have for you today.
I am Vercingetorix Jones con queso! How are you? It is so good to see you. I have missed you. You are wonderful. You are fantastic. I like you. Yes, I do. You are the cat's ass. You are the bone. Hey, how are you? You are swell. You are everything that I had ever hoped for.
I really, really like you. Anyway, let's say a little bit about tripe. Okay, tripe is good for you. It's packed full of nutrition and vitamins. And there is nothing quite as wonderful as vitamins. You need your vitamins, especially vitamin Z, that's a good one. And you need to build up your bloodstream. Make it strong, make it healthy, so that if somebody slits your throat, it's going to look good. Anyway, I wanted to say some stuff to you about your hair follicles. You don't appreciate the hair follicles enough. You often take them for granted. So, I would say to you, I would have a suggestion to you. Be good to your hair follicles. Okay, alright then. Now let's move on to the next thing, thermonuclear warfare. I've talked a lot about thermonuclear warfare, but, I'd rather talk to you about the second law of thermodynamics. But let's just cut through all that and talk about the rings around Uranus. That's been worn out, hasn't it? So, okay, anyway, it is so good to see you. And, when Christmas comes around, I'm going to be looking down and seeing who's been naughty and who's been nice.
Let me see. Alright. Because snot pictures on their own are not enough. You have to give folks a little more, I think. And another little art project I have is the Magic Eye. The Magic Eye, you take a look at it. This wood, we are lucky to have the filter of television that I can show to you. I can show this to you through the filter of television, which is a good thing, because if you got a completely unfiltered look at the Magic Eye, it would probably kill you instantly. Yeah, you see the legend written across here. Magic Eye, don't look, you'll die. That's legit. If you get a Magic Eye, you've got a Magic Eye. They literally, if you look at it unfiltered, nothing between you and it'll probably kill you. And it seems a trifle unfair, but anyone can get one. A lot of people don't know that. You can get a Magic Eye kit at most occult stores. In fact, you can get a magic eye at just about any bookstore. I got it at a bookstore right here in Fayetteville. And the neat thing about the magic eye, despite its ability to kill people, is that if you take the magic eye in your left hand and you walk around the room backwards and say the Lord's Prayer 3 times, you will be granted a very special wish by Satan. And the magic eye is very useful, and that's why you can find it in almost any bookstore. And well, in short, I think it makes the magic eye a good thing to own, and a lot of people at this point are going to be busting out the pitchforks and the torches, telling people that I advocate praying to Satan and that I worship the devil and all that other nonsense. And well, the joke's on you, because to be honest with you, I don't believe any of that bullshit either. But, you know, we live in a life where options are good, you know, free market and all that. And, I think all you folks should have the option. So, happy sailing.
But I have different ideas of what naughty and nice might actually entail. So anyway, we were talking about stuff that comes out of vacuum cleaner bags. Have you ever really looked at that? Holy cow! There is some gross stuff in there, but then there's also some good things, like sometimes you vacuum up M&Ms. Those are good. M&Ms are good. And all kinds of candy. I probably shouldn't say M&M, but I can talk about chocolate-coated, you know, candy that has a smidgen of chocolate in it and really isn't that great. Okay, is that a good way to say it? Alright, so anyway, Jim Socks, and we wanted to talk about the lunar calendar. Now maybe we want to talk about the Gregorian calendar, the changes put into that, but then the same bastard who invented the Gregorian calendar invented Play-Doh. And so anyway, isn't this a wonderful world? I like it. Things are good. And bacon. And so we wanted to say a few things about ham hocks. Ham hocks are definitely one of the greater inventions of the 20th century. And unfortunately, you have to kill hams to get ham hocks. So that's not a very good thing, I suppose, in retrospect. But still, they taste really, really good with dandelions. And we need to have more ham hock and dandelions. You know, that is the traditional fare that is eaten during the Feast of St. Ruprecht. Or if not, then you can wait till the Ascension of St. Ruprecht. But, you know, it's good, and it's good for you. So, anyhow, there's so much stuff going on in the world, you know, Fruit Looms, and so we wanted to go ahead and close out with a good wish for your happy holidays. Whenever you happen to be seeing this, it could be the 4th of July or the death day of Wyatt Earp. But anyway, we're going to see you later, and be sure to eat lots and lots of saltines. I'll see you later. I'm Vercingetorix Jones. Bite me.
Hello. Tonight we're going to bring you a list of things that are quote-unquote rad. Now one's definition of rad might be different than the others, but you know what, screw it, it's my definition of rad, you'll just have to live with it. The first thing that is rad is monster magazines. For example, I have this lovely vintage issue of Famous Monsters of Filmland featuring the very awesome and devilishly handsome Christopher Lee. And my wonderful beau, my love, bought this for me. This is better than jewelry, ladies. Okay, diamonds are forever. Bullshit. Monsters are forever. Okay. Monster magazines, rad. Not so much, you know, you definitely want to go vintage. Because anymore, it's just like Fangoria ends up covering, like, you know, something lame, like the Amityville Horror remake or some crap like that. You don't need that. There's no rubber monsters in it. There's no atmosphere in it. Forget it, you know. Another thing that is rad is nachos. That's it, you know. I don't really need to elaborate on that. The delicious mixture of cheese and corn chips, it's heavenly. And it makes me very happy. Slushies, you know, they go good with nachos. They're great in the summertime. Another thing that is rad is art museums. You know, I'm kind of a geek. I like art museums. It's always good to kind of educate yourself in the ways of art. You know, I mean, granted, you have kind of that poncy attitude.
Hey, you heathen, education's bad.
Right, I know.
Boo. You probably read dirty books.
I do. There's this one particularly filthy book I love called Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. Yeah, it's very filthy. Yeah, boy, how pretentious am I here? You know?
Watch out, kids.
Me and my art museums and my Russian literature.
We have to protect the children.
That's okay, because I'll make up for my pretensions later on with some of my more trash film leanings. But but it's good to open yourself up to ways to different types of expression. Museums can be kind of a good way to kind of get a historical basis of that. There are other modern ways of kind of doing that. I mean, actually, CAT's a great way to do that. There's this show in particular, and there's a lot of other shows where people are expressing themselves, using the new medium, which is video. It's a wonderful way, and art should be for the masses. It shouldn't just be for people who've had the good fortune of having parents that are rich enough to pay for their schooling. Art is from
folks in the ivory tower.
Yeah, I mean, art is good. Art in its true form is from should be sincere, and you don't need to be trained in that. Just do what you feel, and if you love it and you're happy with it, that's all that matters.
Here at the Abbey of the Lemur, we're all about just the ivory tower and how awesome that is. Knock down that ivory tower.
Yeah, and that's,
open it up to everybody.
That's another thing that is rad, is open-mindedness. That's pretty freaking rad.
Uh-oh.
I know. I'm
blasphemy.
Devil woman over here. But I don't know. I mean, because life is short, and if you don't open yourself up to just different types of people and experiences, you're really doing yourself a disservice. I mean, why do you want to be stuck in a bubble? That's no fun. I mean, it's boring, and you're never going to learn that way. And wisdom. I mean, how are you going to gain any wisdom if you just stay in suburbia and just stay with your your one class of friends and your one class of way of thinking? It's horrible. Do yourself a favor and open your mind and educate yourself about everything. If you have some neighbors that are from a different country, instead of bitching about it, whatever, introduce yourselves to them. Learn about their culture. Talk to them. They're human beings too, believe it or not. So, I don't know. Another thing that is rad is trashy movies, particularly 60s and 70s trashy movies. In fact, I've got a virtual stack right here, and yes, I personally own all of these because I'm a geek. But Blood Feast, another classic. Mini Skirt Love. I mean, how can you not? I mean, you cannot deny the radness. Sin in the Suburbs. Hell yeah. And the best thing, to me, the beauty about a lot of these wonderfully older trashy flicks is that it shows you, despite what some people think, that things were not all Pollyanna and puritanical back in the 50s, 60s, and even 70s. Guess what, people? Sin is it's ancient and it's fun, especially in cinema. I mean, what do you want to watch a whole entire movie of people having a family dinner, going to church? No, you want to watch people like suburbanites having swinger parties and doing LSD, and rock bands that wear eye patches, and suave lounge lizards that have a penchant for murdering lovely young ladies in the castle. I mean, that's great. I mean, you cannot deny the entertainment of that.
Zombies,
fucking A.
Flesh-eating zombies.
Yeah, that's another thing that is rad is zombies. And
flesh-eating beatnik zombies.
The only thing radder than that are zombies that wrestle sharks.
And breakdancing werewolves.
Yes. Surf rock actually is another thing that's pretty freaking rad. It's instrumental surf rock in particular has the ability to be really energetic, but kind of melancholic at the same time. Listen to some of the Ventures, the Safaris, some of the newer bands are really good, like the Ghastly ones, Los Straight Jackets, which leads up to another thing that's rad, Mexican wrestling. Mexican wrestlers rock, okay, at least the classic El Santo types. I mean, it's insane. Americans, we know nothing about real wrestling, okay? In Mexico, they do it right. So that's another thing.
The Japanese actually do some really kick-ass wrestling.
Oh, do they?
Oh yeah.
I'd be up for seeing that.
Oh yeah, Tiger Mask all the way.
Oh, cool. Yeah. See, I was raised on American wrestling, and amazingly enough, I haven't had therapy, to deal with some of the scars about taking to certain live wrestling events as a wee lass. But I'll just do 2 words for you: midget wrestling. Okay. wrong on so many levels, you know. Midgets are people too. They shouldn't be, you know. It's wrong. You know, the fact that one of them almost got into a fist fight with my grandfather, really wrong. Bad night, but fun to tell stories about. Really. What else we need? How much time do we have left?
Oh, we got like 8 minutes.
You want me to keep going?
Oh, you can go as long as you
Are
want.
you enjoying this?
Oh, yeah. How can I not?
Okay, another thing that's rad is Barnes and Mars, which is a band me and Mr. Roberts over here have been really digging a lot lately. I mean, we both were kind of fans beforehand, but lately it's just been really grooving. And it's funny because Barnes and Mars are really regarded as a novelty act because of their best known song is Fish Heads, which is a great tune. Awesome video, directed by Bill Paxton. How cool is that? But they're actually, I mean, you listen to a lot of their songs. Every freaking song is great. The music is great. I mean, two guys, you know, Bill Mumy and Robert Hamer, know what they're doing. You know, they're awesome. Their songs range anywhere from just juvenile and hilarious to poignant and even disturbing. I mean, they really do run the gamut. And, you know, I hate the fact that novelty music is such a stigma. You know, like you'll never be taken seriously as an artist. Even though a lot of great novelty artists, great artists, you know, I think Tiny Tim, you know, very underrated. Spike Jones, who I guess maybe he's a little more respected now because he's dead. You know, I mean, there's so many. You know, hell, Weird Al. You know, why not? I like Weird Al. I mean, the fact that the man has had a longer career than most pop artists. Most of the artists that he's parodied, actually. So novelty music is another thing that's rad. Dr. Demento, hella rad. Absurdity is one of the most beautiful things in the world. It's, you know, depending on what it is. But as far as absurdity in art and humor, it's always a good thing. If you take yourselves too seriously, you're in big trouble. Especially in the art world, you know. And that's another thing. Artists out there, don't take yourselves too seriously. Don't be a wanker. You know, being a wanker is not rad. It is anti-rad.
Yeah.
Another thing that is anti-rad is that, was it Rockers Against Drugs?
Yeah.
That rad is not rad. Don't get confused here, people.
So, is that to say you're pro-drugs?
I wouldn't, you know, not necessarily. I mean, it depends on the drugs. I mean, I'm a big caffeine addict, and caffeine technically is a drug. So, but I'll say I'm against rockers who are probably snorting cocaine in the bathroom before they do their anti-drug ads. I'm anti that.
Okay, hypocrisy, not a good thing.
Hypocrisy is not rad. It is so not rad. Another thing that is rad is Nash the Slash, who's this really awesome Canadian violinist, rock guitarist who, to this day, nobody knows what he looks like. His stage persona is like the Invisible Man with a bent. And if you ever find any of his stuff, pick it up. It's great. Very moody, haunting. Some of it's danceable, some of it's eerie. He did a really good version of a Psychotic Reaction, where in the middle part of it he reads, in this really weird sort of fake voice, reads the letters that John Hinckley wrote to Jodie Foster. I mean, taking kind of like a great garage rock song and really putting a bent to it that's, pretty jarring. But good, I mean, you know. If something moves you, then hell, it's doing something right.
Yeah. A lot of people watching this might totally escape them because they're not into psychotronic culture.
Yeah. Psychotronic is very rad.
Abbey of the Lemur is very psychotronic.
Oh, completely. That's the beauty of it. Abbey of the Lemur is rad. So. Yeah, which I guess is a little bit of self-promotion there. But that can be a rad thing too. It's like anything else. It depends on how you approach it. But another thing that is rad is I'd say surrealism. Surrealism is very rad. Turning on the TV to message board is not rad. You want me just to keep going?
Yeah, you can keep going as long as you want. Cameron says you got 3 minutes.
Are you enjoying this?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think I should keep going, babe?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure?
If you want.
Okay. Alright. Well, another thing that is rad is incense. I just like the way it smells. I think it kind of gives a cool atmosphere, you know. Incense can make you think of church. It can make you think of some weird, groovy 60s, psychedelic induced, drugged in of hippies. You know, it can go in so many directions. I like incense. One thing that is very rad is can I be cheesy for a moment?
Be cheesy.
One thing that is super rad is the man behind the camera. My boyfriend, my love, Mr. Roberts over there, Chuck. He's very rad. And this part probably won't even air, but if it does, I want everybody to know that this is one of the most brilliant human beings you'll ever meet, and he's awesome, and he's extremely a good human being. So anybody that judges him can kiss my ass, because you'll never meet a finer person than this man.
Cool.
So if you are so ignorant enough to write him off just because of you're offended by bad language or whatever, then you know what, you're an asshole, and you don't deserve to know somebody so great.
How much do I owe you?
Oh, you owe me later, baby. Oh yeah. Yeah, lounge lizards are pretty rad. As long as you're not being hit on them, hit on by them.
Yow!
Yeah.
Bing.
Bing. Okay, I think now this is just evolved into randomness and go.
Yeah, we're down to like less than a minute.
Uh-oh. I'm on. I just did it.
Yeah, but I was off when you did that.
Okay. Yeah, ready. Oh, yeah. Oh, Lady Lovitch, we love you. And
Yeah,
you were rad.
Yeah, if you stopped after X amount of time, you have no idea what we're talking about.
Soft rock. Lame-ass, weak, non-threatening suburban white boy junk played by bands like Men Without Testicles. Testicles. Reach over here and fondle my balls. Balls, reach over here. Balls, reach over here. Balls, reach over here. Reach over here and fondle my balls. Reach over here. Balls. Reach over here. Balls. Reach over here. And fondle my balls. Meandering zombie noise. Busy in the basement, jacking off his dog. Busy in the basement, jacking off his dog. Pointless meandering zombie noise. Lunatic. Busy in the basement, off his dog. Lunatic. Pointless meandering zombie noise. Lunatic. Pointless meandering zombie noise. Fuck these new age techno dicks. dicks. Whatever happened to music with testicles? Fondle my testicles. Fondle my balls. Testicles, balls, testicles, balls. Music with testicles.